Lexus ES300. I'm going to show you how to replace your brake pads and your rotors. You want to start by taking this bolt and this one down here. That is a 14mm bolt. Then what you want to do is grab a hook or a bungee cord, whatever you have, and you want to hang your caliper somewhere up here where it's out of the way. Now that the caliper is out of the way, we're going to go ahead and take this bolt off here, and then this one down here. They're both 17mm bolts. Now that the bolts are off, you can take your bracket off, but sometimes they're a little hard to get off. So it's good that you pry it. What you want to do now is take your rotor off. You have two options for that. You can grab a bolt, stick it in there, just rotate it little by little. You can do this one and you can do this one. But I already know that's not going to work due to the fact that it's got so much rust on it. So what I'm going to do is option 2, which is just beat the shit out of it. So if you're going to beat it out with a hammer, you got to make sure that your parts are correct and that you are replacing a rotor. Because once you start hitting it, you can damage it and it's useless. So some people hit it here. I like to hit it right at the face because for sure I'm going to replace it. So what you want to do is just hit it. Just like that. Now that your rotor is out, what you want to do is you want to clean everything. You got to make sure you clean all around here, your surfaces right here, everything, your studs. Just have it looking good. And what you want to use for that is a wire brush, a wire wheel, or any type of wire attachment that can go in your drill. Also, you want to make sure you wear a mask or a respirator, whatever you have, because you don't want to be inhaling all the dust that this makes. And this is pretty much what you're looking for. Clean as you can. Once you're ready to put your rotor back in, you're going to have to clean it out real good. And you're going to have to use some brake cleaner. What I do is I always clean the back first. Then I'll put it on and then clean the front of it. Before I put the new rotor on, I always like to put a little bit of anti-seize all over the wheel bearing. This is optional, but this is just how I do it. Once I got the new rotor on the car, I like to put one of the wheel lugs just so I can hold it in place, and then you can do your final wiping. Once you're done with your rotor, you want to move on to your caliper bracket, and you want to take your hardware off and your sliding pins off. Once you got all that out, you want to grab your wire wheel, and then you want to clean all the surfaces on the caliper bracket. The best you can. It's not going to be perfect, but the best you can. You also want to clean your hardware. It's a lot better to replace them, but in this case, the customer provided all the parts, so we're just going to clean them off for him. Once I got my hardware back on, I like to also put a little bit of grease on them. Again, it is optional. The next step is going to be lubricating your sliding pins. What you want to do is you want to clean them up real good, best you can, and then put some new grease on them. Once you're done lubricating your sliding pins, you want to put them back into your caliper bracket, and then you're going to push them in, and you want to make sure they return. And now your caliper bracket is ready to go back in, and this is just reverse process. Once your caliper bracket is back on, you're ready to put your brake pads on. Once you're ready to put your caliper back on, you want to make sure that your piston is pushed in all the way. You can use a C-clamp for this, but in my case, I'm using this ratcheting tool that I bought on Amazon. Once you have your caliper back on, just put your bolts back on, and you're all set. Just make sure you press the brake pedal a few times before you actually drive the car, just so you can get some fluid back in here.